What's up, gente? Welcome back to Stan Sports. It's the Champions League reaction. Of course, the Europa League draw reaction. We're going to talk about the Spanish teams. Looks like Real Madrid got an easy draw. Barca is in the group of death, according to me, of course. And Atletico Madrid is in a group that it seems like they've always been through the years. A Portuguese team, a German team. Tough draw for Sevilla as well. The likes of Man City and Dortmund, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to get into those top two spots. We're also going to talk about Betis and Real Sociedad in the Europa League, of course. Let's take a closer look. Group C, I think without a doubt, is the best group, or at least the group of death, as people are trying to call it already. Bayern Munich, Barca, Inter, and Victoria Pilsen, probably the team that has got no chance at all. But, we got the champions of Germany, the second place team in Spain, and the second place in Italy. Of course, Lewandowski going back to the Allianz Arena. Barca is going to need to make a claim in this group, if they're going to want to progress. We know what happened with Bayern back in the day when they got that slapping 8-2. They got some revenge that they want to do. They were in the group stage with Bayern last year as well. Not very successful against them, let's be honest. So maybe it's a good time. It's a good time for the new signings to show themselves, to show their pedigree on the European stage. And Inter, they're no mugs. They're back into the big time. Lukaku's back, scoring goals. So they're going to want to progressing, of course, to the next stage. I think Real Madrid got an easy group, let's be honest here. I think Leipzig out of pot 2 was probably one of the more favorable draws, even though, of course, there are no mugs. We know, Timo Werner is back there, so he's going to be a goal threat. And, they're just a machine for the past few years. Of course, semifinalists in 2020. But, going back to the Bernabeu, you would expect a team like Shakhtar. How many times Real Madrid played the Ukrainians in the last few years? I don't think there are going to be problems. Celtic, a bit of a colorful, different, team that's going to be coming to Madrid. But again, I don't think Real Madrid will get out of second gear, even though they do tend to make their life difficult. I remember last year, of course, losing to Sheriff at the Bernabeu. I remember a few years ago against Club Brugge, they drew in the last minute. So they tend to make ropey games out of, easy on first glance games. But I don't think the Blancos will have any trouble going through. Sevilla, very tough opponents as well. Man City and Dortmund. Haaland going back to Borussia Dortmund, going back to the yellow wall. He's going to want to prove himself in front of his new bosses. And Sevilla, and we know what kind of season they're about to have. They lost their central back pairing. They've started poorly in La Liga. Let's see if in Champions League they can make up some ground. Early prediction, I think it's going to be very difficult. Dortmund signed, I think, about 10, 11 players this summer. They're going to need time to gel as well, but, they are making kind of more shrewd signings and more investment into the club, unlike Sevilla, who, lost some of their best players, haven't replaced them, let's be honest. So I do think it's going to be very difficult for them, but, if they do finish third and go into the Europa League, who better than Sevilla to be involved in that tournament? And Atletico Madrid, in a group that, again, Atleti should have no problems to go through. Porto, Leverkusen, and Club Brugge. I'm pretty sure 3 years ago they were again in a group with Leverkusen and Porto. Come on, Porto, of course, Portuguese giants. They played them a few times in the last few years. They're going to be the toughest opponent in this group. I don't think Leverkusen and Bruges are going to have any chance to go through. Let's see if Atletico can do something, because we saw in the league they started a little bit shaky. Well, the first game they won, but the second game, left some bad taste in Atleti fans' mouth. So in Europe, it will be a good time for them to play on a clean slate, on a fresh stage. And they should be top in the group, let's be honest. Taking a look at the Europa League, Betis are in a group with Roma, Ludogorets, and HJK from Finland. Pretty tough group to top, at least, because Roma's gonna, with Jose Mourinho at the helm, we know his pedigree in European tournaments. He's gonna want to win it, just like he did last year with the Conference League. But a team that they can definitely finish second, Ludogorets from Bulgaria. where I'm from. They're going to be going to Razgrad and playing Ludogorets. They haven't been in the best of shapes in the last few years, even though they kind of made a name for themselves in European tournaments. They barely got into the group stage after a last-minute penalty kick in the playoff, but it's like we said, a European tough team to beat, especially away in Bulgaria, and of course Helsinki is going to be a new destination for Betis that's back in Europe, and it's going to be exciting for their fans. They had a good performance last year, but they're going to want to better that this year and get out of the group stage, go into the knockout rounds, and who knows then? It's a tournament that anybody that's in it, that has the decent squad can win it. So hopefully Real Betis can do that, and of course keep their good performance in the league, where I think a top 4 finish is not out of the questions either for them. Real Sociedad with the Giants, or I don't know if we should say Giants anymore, Man United, Sheriff and Omonia from Cyprus. Again, a group with one strong opponent for the first place, and then 2 other teams that you would expect Real Sociedad to deal with. They do lose Alexander Isak, of course, going to Newcastle, confirmed yesterday. That's going to be a big miss. They're going to try to replace him, of course, in the last few days of the transfer window. There's rumors about Raul de Tomas. I think that would be a great little signing for them. We know what a goal scorer he is, scoring I think 15 goals last season, the highest scoring Spaniard in La Liga. He hasn't been seen eye to eye with Diego Martinez, something that it's kind of strange to me, because he's his best player, but he does seem like he's going to be showing him the door. He hasn't been featuring in the Espanyol squad in the first 2 rounds of La Liga, so let's see if Real Sociedad can replace him, because they still have quality, of course, with Silva, with Kubo, Mikel Merino. Their midfield is really good. It's just if offensively they can put teams to the sword. Sheriff, we know what happened last year with their famous win at the Bernabeu, and kind of making a name for themselves after their first participation in the Champions League in their history. Now in the Europa League, they're gonna, of course, want to get some big scalps. And Man United, very, very difficult situation right now. They're signing players left, right, and center. Erik ten Hag there under a lot of pressure, but they got a result over the weekend against Liverpool. Let's see if things start going in the right direction. They have the money to basically make things happen, and with a new coach that's trying to implement new ideas at the club, one of the priorities will be a good performance in this tournament and maybe going all the way, because let's be honest, I don't think the teams are that bothered about the trophy per se. It's the ticket to the Champions League that's basically excusing their league position for the season. So if Man United cannot get into the top 4, which looks very difficult, Chelsea is going to be vying there with a strong Arsenal, with a Tottenham that's reinforced and Conte at the helm. Maybe their best route to the Champions League is through this tournament. So let's see if Real Sociedad can at least get second place in this group. And of course, we still got Villarreal in the Conference League. That's on their way already. They're going to be playing in Valencia, the Ciudad de Valencia, and I don't think they will have any problem going into semi-final and final. Unai Emery is there. He's going to try to win another European trophy, that's for sure. Let's wish luck to all those Spanish teams. Like I said, I think Barca probably the toughest draw, getting Bayern and Inter. I do think Real Madrid and Atleti will have an easy route out of the group stage, and Sevilla. It's going to be tough for them as well. What do you think about the draw of the Spanish teams? Let me know in the comments below. How do you think Real Madrid will fare? What do you think Barca will do going back to Munich? And how will Betis and Real Sociedad do in the Europa League? Maybe we'll see another Spanish finalist and another Spanish winner like we did 2 years ago with Sevilla. So let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to Stan Sports for weekly Spanish football content, and see you in the next video. Ciao.